So in hypothesis testing, you start the hypothesis by establishing null and alternate hypothesis. That's the starting point of hypothesis testing. The ending point of that would be finding out the p-value. The result of hypothesis testing would be a p-value. P-value is the probability of getting this type of sample which you got. If I go back to the example which I took at the beginning of this hypothesis testing lecture, where I said that you picked 5 samples and the volume came out to be 140, 145, that list. What you want to conclude with the p-value is that what is the probability of getting this type of sample. If you conclude that p-value is 0.01, that means the probability of getting this type of sample is just 1%. And when you say the probability of getting this type of sample is just 1%, you would say that okay, there is a rare chance, there is a very minimum chance of getting this type of sample, and that means something is wrong here. So something is wrong here means you reject the null hypothesis. You reject the null hypothesis means your null hypothesis in that case was that the volume of perfume is 150 cc, and if your p-value came out to be 0.01, which was on a very low side, then you reject your null hypothesis and you conclude that no, there might be something which has changed the volume of perfume in the bottles. Any hypothesis test, as we go further into this course, green belt, black belt, one thing you will see me saying a lot of time, that is, if p is low, the null must go. If the p-value is low, and when I say p-value is low, p-value is less than, let's say, 5%. Most of the times we put this ceiling as 5%. So if your p-value is less than 5% or 0.05, the null must go, null hypothesis gets rejected. If p is high, let's say if p you got in this case was, let's say, 0.5, 0.6, 0.3. So if p is higher than 5%, then null fly. If p is high, null fly. Right now we are not going into details of that, but as you go further into these courses, this is something you will see me saying a lot of time. If p is low, null must go. If p is high, null fly. That's all we need to discuss here in yellow belt, that you look at the p as the final result of the hypothesis testing.